Hey guys, what's up? Anybody have to pee yet? Anybody have to pee a lot more often than you were before you got pregnant? What, have you been pregnant a couple weeks, couple months, still have to pee all the time? And you're like, oh my God, what's going on? I thought this was, like, the baby's not big yet. How do I have to pee all the time? From the beginning of pregnancy, your uterus takes over your body, and she is kind of a bitch. She's gonna push some of your organs up, some of them down, some of them back, rearrange everything gets squished. Your bladder gets pushed down and it gets squished. So from the beginning, your bladder has less space initially, so you're going to be peeing more often. You also should be drinking more water. You might just be more aware, like, oh, I need to drink more water. My doctor said so. It's true, you do. So you may be peeing more as your body adjusts to drinking more water. So here's some things that can help relieve that having to pee all the time. First of all, you need to make sure that you're emptying your bladder completely when you pee. How do you do that? Double voiding. So you pee, sit up straight. When you pee, try to keep your shoulders back flat, both feet on the ground. Pee. Do not change positions. Let the flow stop, completely stop. Wait like 5 or 10 seconds and then kind of lean forward. Wait a few seconds. If nothing happens, okay. Something else, you might have like a whole nother pee. And then lean to one side. If you don't feel like anything else is coming out after like 10 seconds, probably not. Do the other side, then sit up straight again. See if anything else comes out. You can lean back, lean forward. Sometimes it's good if you're like in a bathroom stall and you can, you can't see my hands, but if you can put them up like each side of the stall and kind of squat above the toilet, if you got strong enough squat muscles for that, sometimes more comes out in that position. And then do that every time, and do that, like, go in that whole motion as many times as you need. Sometimes even if it's like right before bed, I'll do that, and then I'll get up and just like walk around the house a couple times, because sometimes the movement will just get out those extra few drops, and that's really important so you can make it through the whole night. And it gets more important as time goes on. As time goes on, your baby will get bigger and start putting more pressure and squeezing your bladder more, so it'll get smaller, and there'll just often be a sensation of having to pee all the time. That will vary from person to person depending on the position of your baby and how your baby moves, and also the shape of your uterus and the size of your uterus and how that is in your body. That's going to be very specific to you. Definitely do not stop drinking water. You need a ton of water in your pregnancy. I say all the time, if you're pregnant, you're dehydrated, so do not stop drinking water. You can try putting your water in a time frame. I like to stop drinking water a few hours before bed, and I start drinking water the second I wake up in the morning. That way I know, like, I have a pretty decent idea of how much water I want to drink in a day. It'll vary by my daily activities, but if you know, I need to drink about this much water every day, then you can kind of break it down in a block of time, so that you have plenty of time before bed where you have like a cutoff point, so you don't have to pee throughout the night, because that's not fun. Also, if you have like a long commute to work, maybe you'd want to think about that. That's why I like to start drinking right when I get up in the morning, and then I'll kind of cut it off before it's time to leave the house and go somewhere, just so I don't have an uncomfortable ride, or if I'm gonna go for a walk or something, I'll try to plan for that. Another thing, if you're drinking other liquids, think about if you pour yourself a glass of orange juice and you drink it and then you set it by the sink, 10 minutes later there's going to be a buildup at the bottom. There's going to be some down the sides, and so you take the glass, all right, you drink it again, set it down. 5 minutes later, get a little bit more on the sides and another layer on the bottom. You let it sit there overnight, and it's going to be a really thick, sticky residue at the bottom. to where you can't just rinse it out now. Now you're gonna have to have like hot water, maybe soap. It's gonna be a little harder to get out. Well, that's what can happen in your bladder if you're not drinking enough water. Other things can just get kind of stuck in there, stuck on the sides. And so maybe you've been drinking soda or juice or sugary things that are not as easy for your body to push out, filter out. And then you have a glass of water, well, some of it's gonna come out, and then you have to pee 10 minutes later. That's because just like with the juice, it just kind of, like it comes out and then it just kind of trickles back down and sits at the bottom, and all of a sudden you have to pee again, even though you haven't had more to drink. So really be conscious of that. Every time you have, if you wanna have a soda or a juice or really something sugary is gonna do it the most, make sure you're drinking a glass of water kind of at the same time. Otherwise, you may have to pee more often as that trickle down happens. I mean, it's also good just to be drinking mainly water. Also, it can take your body a while to adjust to drinking a lot of water and how to use that water properly. Sometimes if you just found out you're pregnant, your doctor said, hey, you're pregnant, you need to be drinking more water. You start drinking more water, you are going to pee all the time, not necessarily just from the extra liquid, but because your body does need to figure out where to put this water, how to use it, if it's not used to doing that yet. And that won't take too much time. You will adjust to drinking the more water and filtering it properly. Also, sometimes when you're pregnant, you can have trouble relaxing your bladder, just of the body changes and the repositioning of your bladder and everything going on in that area. Your nerves can sometimes be affected, which can happen up until after you have a baby. So you can have trouble relaxing your bladder. You can have trouble, so you can feel like, man, I have to pee, but I'm having trouble peeing. Like it's just not happening the way it's supposed to. You can try, there's some different things. I think like a warm shower and letting the water kind of run over that area works the best. And then you'd have to be okay with peeing in the shower. But that works really well. Or like a warm compress to kind of lay right there over where your bladder is. It will help relax those muscles so that you can pee. Topical magnesium, like they make lotions and like sprays, and you can make it yourself by just crushing up magnesium and rubbing it on. That will relax your muscles and help you pee. I like to do that sometimes in the evenings because I really do like to sleep through the night, and I don't, making sure that you get everything out before bed is the best way to do that. And that's really it. Don't stop drinking more water. Keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. Movement will always help get it out. So try, the different positions every time you pee. That way you're less likely to have to pee again. Because remember, when you get up and walk around, you'll probably have to pee again. So if you're at work and you go to the bathroom and you just pee, instead of doing the double voiding method, you just pee the way you normally do, probably by the time you get back to the office, you're gonna have to pee again. So really make sure you get everything out when you go. Make the most of that. And I mean, unless you have a job where you can just kind of, you want to take those extra bathroom breaks, that's understandable. But most people want to make the most of that, want to get everything out when they can. I remember the juice glass effect. If you're drinking something besides water, it can kind of get stuck, and then you need to be drinking water with it to make sure you're properly filtering everything out. And that's about it. Stay hydrated, no excuses. And it just kind of sucks. It's just a thing about pregnancy is you will be peeing more, but hopefully this will help ease the peeing so much and maybe ease some bladder pain and discomfort. All right, guys, knowledge bitches. I'll see you later.